So for a very long time, you've heard me mention the name Job. Because we've been in a WhatsApp group for Gala Goat, what is it called?
Kenya Gala Goat and Exotic Breeds Hub.
Yes, for a long time. Yes. And there was this person pushing the agenda of Gala Goats, and why a farmer should have Gala Goats, should keep Gala Goats. So today we have the gentleman here. We have the man himself. So he's going to first introduce himself, and then we'll go from there. So Job, please introduce yourself to people who've known you before seeing you.
First of all, I'll say thank you to the team at Taraji Eco Farm. Thank you for the opportunity to work together in bringing the supply that is just on the background, and also a chance to meet your subscribers and viewers. So my name is Job Ochieng. I work for a consultancy firm known as Context Solution, where we do health and development, system strengthening, and part of that we do livestock breeding and production, and where Gala Goat is our signature livestock. And we also do apiculture and just health care in entirety. So lately we have been having a group from 2023 that is called Kenya Gala Goat and the Exotic Breeds Hub. So the Exotic Breed Hubs covers any other breed that comes from outside. That is the meat breed, that is the Boa, Kalahari, Savannah, and lately the Blackberry from South Africa. And also the dairy, where we have the Saanen, Toggenburg, and the Alpines. So Alpines, we have a variety, the British, the German, and the Kenyan. So we cut across, and lately from the responses we are getting, because most people keeping goats do have sheep, which we categorize small ruminant. So we are also helping farmers set up sheep. And currently most of our farmers are doing Dopa and the black-head Somali sheep. So that's what we do, but we do it together with other farmers. Thank you.
Thank you, Job. So we'll get right into it because we don't have a lot of time. It's going to get that very soon. So I guess the first question I'm going to ask you, why the Gala Goat?
Why the Gala Goat for us? The Gala Goat is an indigenous, hardy Kenyan breed that is very resilient. So why do we say hardy, indigenous, very resilient? The Gala Goat, when you go to the north, Kenya itself as a country is 85% rangelands. So the other 15 that is not rangelands, it's mostly Nyanza and Central. Yeah. So with the current climate change and diminishing arable lands, we need a breed that can withstand. Number two, cows release a lot of methane. So we need a breed that also has little footprint in the climate. And so Gala Goat or goats generally have that. So the Gala Goat is called the queen of milk and meat in the desert. Yeah. So the Arabia. So it gives you both. It's a dual purpose. And one goat can give a family of 5 to 6 enough milk for breakfast. So, and the goat by 6 months of age, the female can be served. And by 6 months of age, the male can be introduced into a breeding program.
Which is a very good advantages.
Yeah, very, very advantages. And the meat, the quality of the meat is so good. Even the export market prefers it more than this. Number two, it doesn't have that strong smell, the goat smell that we are used to.
Yeah.
And the meat is red. It doesn't lose the color after chilling like the normal goat. So it stays fresh. It looks fresh.
Yeah.
And it's tender.
Yeah. Another thing, maybe just to mention the conversion of feeds to meat or to milk.
Oh, okay. So it eats little, and most of the time it hits dry feeds. And number two, it doesn't select the plants that other animals will not eat, the goat will eat.
Yeah.
So when you're having this goat, you also may have to make sure that whatever plants you have that you feel are valued to you, let's say like flowers, fruit trees, you protect, because it will even eat like things like euphorbia. Yeah, so it is hardy, it will eat anything. Yeah, and it adapts. So when whatever is not available, it will go to the next. But most of the time it eats dry feeds. And when it comes to feeding of animals, they always need 3% dry matter of their body weight. So by eating dry feeds or preferring dry feeds to wet feeds, they're already one step ahead.
Yeah. Another thing I need to notify our subscribers is that I got to know Job online sometime in 23 when I was doing my research for goats. And at that time I was doing deliveries to this side. And Job told me, you know how the Kenyan market is, told me, just send me the money. I wanted very few goats at that point. I said, just send me the money. I'm going to deliver the goats. And I remember I told him, I've lost a lot of money in this economy. So we were, at that point, I think he told me to pay about first a small percentage, and then on the market paid 75%, and then the rest. But then you've watched my videos, I've discussed about my experiences and the losses I've made in farming. So I at that point, I humbly declined because of my fears. But I want to actually say that Job has brought the goats today, and he's actually explained to me the costs because I said I paid upfront. Like,
yes, he paid 100% upfront.
Yeah, a few weeks ago. And I think I paid because of having spoken to you, and then you referred me to Emmanuel. And then you were discussing there, and then I remember I was with my wife, and Emmanuel told us, you know me, I just sent Job the money, and I was worried. He was worried. But then because he was busy, and then he just got a call and said, where are you? Your goats are here. And so Papa, I said I have to do this now because I really wanted to do the goats this farm. And initially we wanted to do dairy goats. But the market here for milk, it's not ready.
Saturated.
Yeah, it's not saturated. It's not ready. I think you have to convince people to actually buy
goat.
Yeah, that's why we opted for the multi-purpose goats. And so the purpose of this video is that for us, we've started, we call ourselves self-sufficiency. So we started growing our own food, fresh food. Now we can actually feed the family fresh, healthy, organic food. So the next project for us is income generation. And after checking around all the other chicken and everything, we thought the goats were actually very, had a huge potential. And that's why we've actually invested in this. With the 3 goats, you referred me to Emmanuel, and now the scale up. And I think I would like you to speak to maybe young people, especially in this region, because eventually you're going to do trainings and all that, and you'll come and train people. But I would like you to speak to them on the potential of goats as a business.
Yeah, so goats offer a lot of benefits, and we say we have different breeding objectives. So the breeding objective is, why are you keeping the goats? The end game is money. But somebody will say, I'm keeping them for meat. So, and somebody will tell you, I'm keeping them for milk. So if you're keeping them for milk, we'll say you go for the exotic breed, that is the Saanen and Alpine, because they'll give you more milk. But there's a cost to it because they also need special feeds. But for the Gala goat, they will give you the milk, and you can also slaughter them for meat. I don't know if it's so clear for our viewers, but all the goats that are behind us are less than 1 year. Regardless of the size, they're less than 1 year. They are from a hot environment, and today it's chilly, and so they're trying to adapt to the weather. But we are already doing the anti-stress on the relocation management, and some of the drugs are here with us for purposes of not promoting a certain brand.
We are not going to show the
We are not going to show the names because we are not promoting any brand. So what we do is anti-stress management whenever they come. That is very important. So the reason why young people should invest in goat is they need limited space. The space behind us is about 2 meters by 2 meters, but it's a warm area where we have preferred to keep them. And you see it's hosting the 14 goats comfortably. But when it's a cattle, it's just 1 and not a full-grown heifer. So look at the space, 1 versus 14. Look at the feeding rate. The grass we have given them is about 1 bale of hay, and they have not completed it. And around they've been eating the dry leaves. So feeding goats, it's much easier. And also keeping a large number in a small space is much easier. But what I'll advise people, when you're keeping goats, also invest in the exercise area. We always say your exercise area should be twice your housing area. So the space and whatever you are investing in it is little. The only thing that people need to know that goats are always affected by extreme weathers, either too hot weathers or too cold weathers. But for Gala goats, they will adapt in the hot weathers. And for the cold weather, you'll have to help them adjust by boosting the immunity, either with the vitamins, the mineral leaks, and some antihistamine once in a while, just to help them hold up. But the kids born within the same environment will always hold up much better.
Yeah. Maybe you can also speak about like how to identify a pure Gala goat, because there are a lot of crossbreeds in between.
Okay.
And then maybe after that, you can also speak about how to identify the age of a Gala goat. And if you're buying Gala goat, what age should you target if you're buying for breeding?
I think for the purposes of this video, I'll drag one goat for the purposes of showing age. But I'll pick two types of Gala goat. So this is the first type of Gala goat. You can see it's very docile. It's not trying to fight us. You can see there's a colored head and a black line on the spine and on the shoulders, on the elbow, with the joints. So these are the goon type of Gala goat. Most of the time, the back is always curved. Yeah. So the goon is the colored Gala goat. And all Gala goats have got black muzzle and the black skin, or the uncovered areas. It's very black. The muzzle is black. You try the coat, it's black. You can also see from this side, it's black. But the biggest thing, the Galas are very docile. It won't fight you. It's not having a rope. It's not running away from us. It's not scared of us. It's just there. Yeah. So this is just one of the biggest way to know a Gala goat. It's not running away. Yeah. It's there. And it's even approaching. Yeah. So these are the goon type of Gala goat. You can always see the back is long and curved with a straight line. Yeah. Yeah. And it always grows much heavier than the Gir. The Gir is the white one. So to know the age of any goat or any of the small ruminants, we use the teething to do that. So when you open, like this goat is less than a year, about 6 months, 7, 8 months. All the teeth are milk teeth.
Yeah, and they are all the same level.
All at the same level. But when it reaches 1 year, it will shed off these two and grow 2 sets of teeth that are almost similar to the ones that we have as adult human beings. Yeah. So 2 flat teeth represent 1 year. This at the center. Yeah. Then 1 at the side, 1 at the side. When they're 4, that will be 2 years. Then a third one and a third set. So if you have 3 sets, that's 3 years and 4 sets. So when they're fully grown, they'll be 4 years and they stop growing at 3 years. But this one is less than a year at this length.
Yeah.
And it's a Degun type. So we are going to show you the second type of Gala, which is the Degir, which is the pure white. This is the second type of Gala. It's the Degir, pure white. There's nowhere that you have any coloration. And it's very docile. Look at the head, the size of the head. Look at the structure.
Body structure.
The body structure. I told you it's always black. The undercoat is always black. You can see that from the tail. It's fully black. Then the ears, black. The muzzle, black. And it's docile, not running away just like the other one. And so we go next to the edge. You saw the size of the other one. Let's also look at the teeth of this one. You see this one has started to develop 2 larger teeth. Yeah. So it's around 11 months because when it's fully 1 year, the 2 sets become very large. So this one is also less than a year. And you can see from the set of teeth, the teeth are much larger than the other one. And that's why we say the Degir. The Degun is much heavier because you can see the other one was a little bit bigger than this. Yeah. But all of them are docile. Yeah. So those are the 2 types of Gala goats that we have. You can see them in the background. You can see them in the background with us, but you can still bring them together for purposes of you comparing at the same time. Comparing the 2 types at the same time. So you can see the 2 types at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how you know most of them. Yeah. So those are phenotypic. Phenotypic is what you see, but we have genetic where we have lab tests involved and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe the other thing is because you say the Gala goats are multi-purpose, so you can have meat and milk.
Yes.
How much milk would you be looking at if well fed for maybe one per day. Because you have to let it the kid suckle too. So to share the milk with the kid.
500 ml to 1 liter in one milking. So you can do milking twice, morning and evening.
Yeah.
So 500 ml to 1 liter from one single goat. But we have certain type of gala that we call the dairy gala.
Yeah.
They produce more. It could be a liter in the morning and a liter in the evening.
Okay.
Yes. So they're more heavier and more so we have specific characteristics that we will be able to help farmers identify. Because yes, I can say them now, but somebody might use this information to dupe them.
Yeah.
So it's better we use it during training because I'll say it and we don't know who is going to consume it.
Yeah. And that's why I was saying it's very important to buy your goats, especially if you need breeding stock, from someone who knows exactly what they're selling to you. Because this is cage and market. You'll actually go somewhere and so it's a gala goat, then you get to a farm, it's different. We had a cross from the gala back and the smallest African at Emmanuel's farm.
Yes.
And you could see it actually quite big. So if someone is not honest enough, they're going to sell you that cross and tell you it's a full gala back.
Yeah. So for our viewers, whenever we are doing the breeding of the goats, when you do a crossbreed, the first offspring, we call it F1. The F1 always has 50% of the male genetics. Then you go to F2, the percentage increases to 75. So F2 is that buck sired. We always call the buck the sire. Then the female the dam. So the kid that comes out is the F1. So the F1 female, you give it a different buck that is 100% pure, not the one that gave birth to it, not the father, and not a relative. And the kid they will give birth to will be F2.
75%.
Yes, 75. And this F2, the female, you give it a third buck that is 100% pure, not related to the two, will give you around 87. So the percentage keeps increasing. So you have to change your buck 6 times. And so the 6th time, when you give that sire, that will be the F5, giving back to F6, that F6 is called as full blood. So it becomes pure. So you can improve your genetics over 3 to 5 years. Yes, but sometimes it takes time to change the genetics. But one thing that came out clear in a training that we had on 29th June in Mbita from a farmer, that the crosses that have been born by Gala and the smallest African, their growth rate and the pure Gala are almost the same. And so he was encouraging people for us to sensitize. We invest more in breeding bucks and proper females of the smallest African. So we produce more as we learn the breed and also let people learn instead of trying to get the females and the males at the same time. So that was a suggestion that was posted in the Nyanza Region Network of Farmers. And it was good. I share it out here. So that somebody doesn't strain so much to bring both male and female from afar. And so we always say start small. And so currently farmers within Nyanza are doing networking, so the bucks will be rotated. So we know them. So you won't have to invest in several bucks, like I've said 6 for you to get pure. You'll just be exchanging amongst yourself in a pool. And so we encourage registration of your flock and record keeping. Will help you a lot.
And that's the important thing I was discussing about being in a group. Because like vaccines are very expensive. So you can actually maybe buy one vaccine. Like you can buy from me maybe 20 goats.
Yes.
And then send it to Emmanuel to do his 40 goats and then somebody else to finish that. So there are a lot of people asking me about the link to the group, and I've shared to a couple of them. So if you comment on comment section and you reach on our WhatsApp, we can actually share that with you. But there's a process. So there's a link I can send to you, and then Job will actually approve. And then there's a membership fee, and then there's a lot you'll be informed about that.
The QR code, you can use the link or a QR code.
I think maybe what the important things to look out or to observe when you want to start a goat farm. You can mention briefly, because we'll do trainings in future. Just mention briefly what's important.
So for anybody who wants to start a goat farm, we always say there are 9 basic steps, but sometimes we break them down to 10 or 11. Number 1 is general research. So general research, which area are you in? Which breed of goat will do better? And if you have to bring a different breed, what will you need to help adapt just like these ones here, you can see them. They need to adapt to this weather that is having high humidity, because they are from area with high heat. So you have to go ahead and know how you are going to transition these goats. So that general research, the market for the meat, it's a general research. Why do you really need to keep them? Then the next thing after research, you'll always look for water. Do you have water? So goats need about 4 liters of water per day. So if you are having 20 goats, like what we have at the farm at the moment, we need 80 liters per day, but that will depend on the weather. Very sick goats might drink more or less. Pregnant goats might take more. And during heat, they might take more, or sometimes less during cold weathers. But the average they need is 4 liters per day. So do that by 3 months. And then per year, you need the number. It will direct the number of goats that you can keep comfortably. Number 2, you will also need to grow your own fodder. And a friend of mine known as Matt Mudama says, rain is a substitute to irrigation, not irrigation a substitute to rain. So people should be irrigating full time. Yes.
Again, depends on where you are. Like here, we are very lucky. Like now, you've had rain for 4 months straight. And our Napier grass we cut, and then
it regrows.
It regrows.
Yeah.
It depends again on, I think, on where you are.
Yeah. So water becomes number 2. Number 3 is land. We always say people who have land don't farm, and people don't have land want to farm. So land should not stress you so much. Then number 4 is the marketing. Where are you going to sell your product? Number 5 is the feeds and nutrition, your feeding plan. Number 6 is the kids management. How are you going to manage the kids? Number 7 is your veterinary and animal health care. Number 8 is record keeping. How are you going to keep your records? And number 9 is continuous learning. So you can do all the 8, but you need to learn continuously. And so we also have vaccines under healthcare. So, but you can separate the vaccines separately. So we always have those 9 basic steps. And out of the 9, the 3 most important one is water being number 1. If you cannot get water,
Don't farm.
think about it. You don't have to farm, because water will make your animals healthy. Water will help you clean the farm. Water will help you grow your own feeds. Then if you have succeeded in water, then your market. If you don't have market for whatever you're going to produce, just stop it, because you'll end up losing by selling to middlemen or brokers because you did not know the market prior. Or you lose potential markets because you are not showcasing. So we say any farmer has to be an extrovert by default. You have to be an extrovert by saying he has 20 today, his neighbor knows nothing, because Gala goats keep quiet, they don't make a lot of noise. And if they do, there's a problem. Either they're in danger or they're trying to warn you on something. So they might be quiet the whole month, 2 months, then the last minute the neighbor is having a party, goes ahead to the market, buy 10. Then like, I had $10 here for slaughter because he never spoke out. So market becomes number 2, most important in the initial phase. Then land becomes number 3. You can always lease land, borrow land, any plan for land. Land is not that important, but the 3 are important during initial. But during operation, after setting up everything, now feeds become the most important till the end. Then the 3rd phase, we call it breaking even. This is where your expenses or your capital, whatever you pumped into the business and whatever you are gaining, revenue balance. So the breaking even, the most important thing is your pricing. Are you pricing your livestock right? So by you knowing your pricing, you must know the cost of production. So how much am I charging per unit of water? Like we have known, we had 20, we are using 80 liters. What is costing us 80 liters per day? The salt and the supplement feeds, let's say 350 grams per mature goat. How much is that one costing us per day? The worker, how much are we paying per month? The security, how much? You need to do that in an Excel and automate the formulas so that you know. So at the end of the day, if let's say you are using 100,000 to sustain the goats, 120 goats in 3 months, as an example, you can divide that and know each goat at the end of 3 months, how much is it? Because we expect goats to gain an average, the feed conversion, about 150 grams to maximally 350 in a proper feeding program per day. So you can estimate the weights they came in with and the weights they will leave in. And there are ways of estimating the weight using a tape measure. We will do that in the next podcast because
Yeah.
maybe the lighting is
Yeah.
not allowing us.
Yeah.
But you do something known as the heart gut at the shoulder. We can demonstrate that. Oh, the goats are faster than us. But we have this, so you take your tape measure, you do it in inches, you pass it here.
Yeah.
That's the heart gut. Then you take the body length, the ramp here, from here to the tip of the tail.
Yeah.
This is the body length.
Yeah.
So you multiply you square the heart gut and the body length. Then whatever you get, you divide that by 300. And after dividing it by 300, you'll get the answers in pounds.
Oh.
Then after getting in pounds, now you need it in kgs. You divide by 2.2.
Yeah.
So whatever comes out is the estimated kgs without using a tape weighing scale.
Yeah.
But we'll be able to do that off the camera because the weight tape is being brought.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be able to do that off the cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll eventually organize trainings for all those topics Job has mentioned, and then he'll come and train people for that. We're actually looking at growing the Gala goats, our area around here, because I've noticed there's a lot of goats, but they're quite small. So why not improve their genetics or train them out to improve their genetics over time?
Yes.
I have a very important question I wanted to ask you. During my research, I went to the butcheries and all that. I was asking the butchers how many kgs the carcass they buy, how many kgs. And here in our local center, I was telling me the most is 20 kgs, the carcass. 20, 18, 16, 15 on average. That's what they get. And I was wondering, these Gala goats, well fed, they can get between 55 to 60 kgs. Are you going to get the same carcass weight, or this is different now?
The carcass weight depends on the live weight of the goat.
Yeah.
So very young goats, very, very young, that mostly people don't slaughter this direction due to culture, could give you 35 to 40% carcass weight. Very young.
Yeah.
Mid-average goats will give you 50%,
Yeah.
the dressing percentage.
Yeah.
And very mature goats, and when I talk of mature, I'm talking of 3 years and above, these goats will give you 56% carcass weight. But it's always safe to work with 50. So when the carcass weight is 40, what it means that goat, when it was alive, walking around, had 40 kg live weight.
Yeah.
And that one, for a Gala back, that will be a 1 year goat.
Okay.
So it means 1 year, you'll be having a goat that will give you 20 kg of meat. Let's say 500, so that's 10,000. Selling the meat, the skin you'll be selling separate, the head, the hooves, and the offals, what we call matumbo or mara, separately. So let's say the liver is being sold separately. So let's say the liver is another 500. The offals is maybe 300, that's 800. Then the hooves and the head, another 200. So you'll have an extra 2,000 on top of the 10,000 for the meat. So 12. But when you go to buy the goat when it's live, it's about 6,000, 7,000. So there's a big profit margin going to the marketers. Yes, who are the butchers, that the farmers is losing. So sometimes we also encourage farmers to do value chain. Yes, so they can have slaughters contracted that slaughter, then they sell the meat on bone. Yes.
That's exactly our plan here. Over time, not now, over time when we grow the numbers properly and have proper feeding, we'll have to do value addition. Because I think as a farmer, as a primary producer, you don't make as much.
Yes.
That's what I think, that's what I believe. So initially when we're starting this plan, we were saying, essentially, at the end of it all, we have to add value addition, like all products anyway.
Yes.
Avoid middlemen.
And the shortest way to do that is to sell your goats by weight, not by size. Sell them by live weight. I can tell you currently KMC, because it's the prices outside there, they'll tell you for every male goat, live weight, if our goat is 50 kgs and it's male, they will tell you they'll buy 220 per kg. If it's female, they'll buy 200 per kg, live. So a 50 kg male goat will give you 11,000. A 50 kg female goat will give you 10,000. Because it's times 1 at Kenya Meat Commission. But we have several export abattoirs that buy just the meat itself. Averagely, Kenya, we have around 600 to 650 per kg of meat on bone. Yeah, so the 20 kg will give us around 12,000 meat on bone alone when you are exporting or selling to an exporter. So you choose your market right, but for each market there is a caveat. Exporters will need about goats that might reach 1 ton or 1.5 ton air container weight. So you might have to be aggregating or working with a group of people. So the scales also determine the market that you target.
So I think we've covered a lot in not in detail. We've covered a lot just to introduce the topics.
And the most important one is budget. Budget for your farm. You need to budget for your farm, right? And what are the basic equipments that you need for the farm and the basic drugs? Because we are in a setup where the vets are not quite responsive. They are more specialized in bovine, which is cattle. And so the small ruminants, it's something that is coming up clearly. And so sometimes there are basic things that you can do. So you learn that through your nearest vet, but you can also learn that through the training. So the basic emergency kit that you need to have. So the vet can always come even without his drugs, and you have some basic drugs. That is important, and basic skills for the farmers. And the budget, how do you start your budget? A zero-based budget is always preferred. And so you break it down. But at the end of the day, we say start small.
That's small, so that's it. I think that's it for this video, because you're going to do subsequent videos, and hopefully you're going to do trainings, which you're going to announce, and we'll have experts like Job here to actually train you. And I think that's we started this farm not just to feed ourselves, but also educate people around us.
Yeah, for the trainings, just for the viewers, we have 30th of August, we have training in Katito at Zamil Farms. 26th of this month, we have training in Mariakani for coastal region. And I think after Katito, that should be October, we'll be having a training here in Kisii, in this farm. It's always the last Saturday of the month. So October will be here as Team Nyanza.
We'll plan.
Yes, October will be here.
We'll plan adequately and we'll inform our viewers so that to come and check this out. It's actually a good, I think for me, and I think for my family and for this farm, goats are a good way to go. We've done a lot of things here. We've tried chicken for the last 3 years. We've tried to actually sell eggs, but you know the numbers with chicken, especially because as we practice purely organic farming, so our chicken are purely kienyeji and that, so it's a big challenge. So goats are a good way to go. So we'll end the video there today, unless you have something to say. Do you have any final word for our viewers?
If you need goats now, come to Taraji. If you need more than what you can offer,
we'll arrange.
We'll work together.
Yes, that. We'll arrange.
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you.
Kisii and Nyamira.
Yeah,
He's the admin for Kisii and Nyamira counties.
Yes.
Yeah.
001, the president himself. So
we'll the ghost.
Thank you for watching today's video. We're going to have more videos for you. So please share this with your friends. Comment if you have any questions or comments. Please go to our comment section and comment, and we'll all grow together. So have a good one. See you in the next one.